This is another question of stoichiometry. Zinc and hydrochloric acid react according to the reaction zinc solid plus hydrochloric acid aqueous. It gives zinc chloride aqueous plus hydrogen gas. The question is, if 0.3 mole of zinc are added to 0.52 mole of HCl, how many moles of hydrogen are produced? So here amount of zinc is given, amount of HCl is also given. Amount of both the reactants are given, and you have to find out the amount of hydrogen. As I have told you yesterday, that when the amount of both the reactants are given, then first time you have to find out who is limiting reactant, who is excess reactant. After find out the limiting reactant, from the limiting reactant you have to find out the amount of hydrogen produced. So that is why first time I will find out who is limiting, who is excess. So to do this numerical, your equation is zinc when reacts with hydrochloric acid, it produces zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. So this is your equation, and the equation is already balanced. Now according to the reaction, zinc is 1 mole, HCl is 2 mole. In the balanced chemical reaction, 1 mole zinc react with 2 moles HCl. Now I will write like this: 1 mole zinc requires 2 moles HCl. Therefore, in question how many moles given? 0.3 mole zinc given. So 0.3 mole requires how much we will find out. 0.3 mole zinc requires 2 into 0.3 moles. You will get 0.6 moles of HCl. So the amount of HCl required 0.6 mole, but in question it is given 0.52 mole. Since the amount of HCl given is less as required amount is 0.6 but given 0.52. Since it is given in lesser amount, that is why HCl is said to be limiting reactant. Actually, if the given amount is more than 0.6, then you can consider it as excess reactant, but here the amount is less than required, that's why HCl is said to be limiting reactant. So you can write like this: since the amount of HCl given only 0.52 mole, but it requires 0.6 mole, so HCl is limiting reactant. So like this way, first time you have to find out limiting reactant. Now after find out limiting reactant, you can find out how many moles of hydrogen will form. But when you determine the amount of hydrogen, you have to determine it from the limiting reactant, not from the excess reactant. So now I will write here this side. Now you can write like this: 2 mole HCl produce 1 mole hydrogen. 2 mole HCl produce 1 mole hydrogen. Therefore, in question it is given 0.52 mole HCl produce 1/2 into 0.52. This much mole of hydrogen. When you calculate it, you will get 0.26 mole of hydrogen. So this is the amount of hydrogen produced in your chemical reaction. Here amount of both the reactants are given, that's why first time we have find out the limiting reactant. After determining the limiting reactant, we determine the amount of hydrogen produced from the limiting reactant. So like this way you have to do the calculation. If the reactants, if the amount of both the reactants are given, always remember first time you have to find out who is limiting, who is excess, and when you determine the amount of product produced, always you have to determine the amount of product from the limiting reactant, not from the excess reactant. Thank you.